The game-winning sacrifice you never try. White to play in this position. What should white play, folks? Today, I'm talking about a very important chess concept that is very difficult for many players to overcome. It's about the willingness to sacrifice material for long-term benefit. I'm talking about positional sacrifices today, folks. I will tell you four reasons why people shy away from sacrifices. And in the end, I will give you four little tips to overcome this problem. Okay? Let's begin with this position, folks. Black played the move bishop e6. What do they want to do on the next turn? They want to go bishop d5 and blockade your pawn on d4. Your pawn is a piece of wood that is getting in the way of your bishop, and this is not visible for many people. They are over materialistic, right? They want to cling onto their pawns at all times. So this requires a perceptual change that your d4 pawn is a piece of wood that you should get rid of by playing the move d5. And you're a great player, folks, if you just got rid of the piece of wood and play d5. The idea is to create a battery against the black king, right? Look at this. As a result of your pawn sacrifice, you create a beautiful battery on that long diagonal. You should have seen in this very position that the black king is not so safe at all. And to make use of your bishop on b2, you have to seize the moment and sacrifice that damn pawn with the move d5. It's only hindering your pieces, this pawn. And this is the first perceptual change that I want to give to you right now. It's a sacrifice, game-winning sacrifice, many people never play out of principle. Now, if you don't play the move and play a normal move like queen d2, then good luck with activating your bishop. This bishop is completely shut down from the game and no one can repel that bishop from d5 anymore. Black is slightly better, in fact, in this position. It's that much of a difference, folks, to give up the pawn and to coordinate your pieces like this. Now, why do many people shy away from such sacrifices? Well, the first reason is the fear of unknown, right? Because sacrifices involve chaos, unknown, and people don't want to go there. It's blurry. They want to cling onto their material. Of course, the second reason is lack of confidence in their calculation or attacking skills, correct? Because by playing d5, they are accepting a risk. Now it's on their shoulder. They are feeling the pressure that they must do something directly from this position. Otherwise, the pawn is just gone, right? Pawns cannot be returned back into the game, but now you have to make use of your pieces. And many people don't trust their calculation skills, attacking instincts, and that's why they refuse such moves out of principle. Second position I will show you, folks. White to play. Please formulate a plan for white. Please focus on the black pieces that are sleeping on the king side. White already sacrificed the pawn on b2 to come to this position. White is much better developed, and in that state, you need to open up the game, open up the center ASAP, correct? So, you're a great player if you found the pawn break f4. You want to activate your rook, you want to catch the king in the center of the board, right? That's a very meaningful pawn break for white that creates play in the center. Takes, black goes knight e7. Again, follow the principle, please. Your goal is to open up the center, to catch the king on e8. And you're a great player if you play the move e5. If they take your pawn, then your bishop recaptures and you're opening up lines against the black king. Thus, black goes d5 and comes the critical moment in the entire game. Please stop the video, folks. White to play. What should white play here? I'm now testing your confidence, whether you can apply what I just taught you in the first position, right? Don't fear the unknown so much, but try to understand the essence of this position. The essence is the king that is stuck in the center, and black needs so many moves to be able to castle short from this position. You have the time advantage. In those moments, we need to play energetically, right? Given your goal is to clear up lines, and given if you don't do anything, black will blockade with bishop e6, you have to play the move e6 and you're a great player. Long-term clearance pawn sacrifice. Beautiful positional pawn sacrifice. You don't get the pawn back directly, but look what you just got in return, my friend. Your rook became an excellent piece on the e-file. You clear the e-file. Black still needs at least 3 moves to castle. They will not even manage to castle because you just move the bishop and you prevent them from castling. The king is completely stuck in the center of the board and they are feeling the pressure. Knight b3 to c5 is coming. Knight b3 to d4 is coming, and you will intensify the pressure on that poor bishop on e6. You see the effect of your pawn sacrifice. If you don't play the move but play the passive rook e1, hoping for e6, black will not give you the second chance. They will play bishop e6 and they will gain stability. They will blockade your pawn. And now look at your pawn on e5. It's only a piece of wood that is getting in the way of your pieces, correct? And that's what I want to teach you in today's episode. If you truly internalize, if you truly perceive this pawn as a mere hindrance in this very position, then you can change your mental models and gain confidence. Many people also don't sacrifice pawns because of this, because they don't see the effect. They don't truly understand the effect of positional pawn sacrifices, right? Please compare this position with this position, folks. Black is busted. I will even show you some moves just to teach you how the game can go from this position, how you can convert this advantage. Knight b, there are many moves, but knight b3 to d4 is beautiful, folks. Bishop e7, now they are getting ready for castling short. You say, no, 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 no. Knight d4 is coming, and this bishop is hit twice. If the bishop drops back, then comes bishop g5, my friend. And again, you're preventing castling short. You're putting pressure on that pin bishop on e7. White is completely winning in this position. Folks, please take a stock. Just to teach you what initiative and development looks like in chess. Just look at white's piece activity, folks. Just compare the white pieces with the black counterparts. That's exactly why you sacrifice the pawn, right? We need to truly understand this desired state for us to increase our confidence for such positional pawn sacrifices. This again can be played without calculation, this move, right? This doesn't require much calculation because there are so many different ways for white to play this position, correct? So again, many people shy away from such sacrifices because they believe that they need to calculate 10 moves in depth to justify this pawn sacrifice, correct? This is what blocking many players. They want security. They need complete security in this position, right? They want to be absolutely certain that they are getting something concrete as a result of this little investment of a pawn, right? That's why you never go for such sacrifices, my friend. Today, this is changing. And obviously, third biggest blockage is overvaluing material aspect in chess, right? As beginners, of course, when you learn the game of chess, you first and foremost focus on the material aspect of the game. You usually win games by collecting free material that your opponent is just giving you, and then you're winning with an extra queen versus the king, right? That's how the games are usually decided for beginner levels. So obviously that ingrains those habits of being over materialistic, valuing the pawns and pieces too much. And this habit is also blocking you later on at a later stage of your chess journey from sacrifices, because you want to have something concrete in return before you sacrifice a pawn like that. But again, please, again, folks, look at this position and understand the potential of the white pieces. That's how you define dynamics in chess. Dynamics means piece potential. You cannot measure it directly, but you can feel, you can smell the dynamics. Look at the potential of the white pieces. Mikhail Tal, Boris Spassky, great attacking players, had great sense of dynamics, right? They could feel, they could smell how many pawns they need to give up for getting great dynamical compensation, and so on and so on. That's why you also need to look at those classical games and ask the why questions, read their explanations and so on, play through those variations and so on to break this blockage. That's why it's good to look at such chess classics. It's Steinitz, versus Bombardebelen, one of the most famous games in chess history. I'm sure many of you chess nerds know this game by heart. The black king was stuck in the center, they cannot even castle short because of the pressure on e7, and now they play the move c6. This was a big mistake, and you will tell me why this move is a big positional mistake. Well, folks, you look at your knight on f3. The guy is a terrible piece, but you need to get this piece into the game ASAP in his position, right? So you find the pawn sacrifice d5. That's a beautiful long-term clearance pawn sacrifice. By sacrificing the pawn, you not only create a beautiful beast on d4, you also open up the c file for your rook. Suddenly, two of your remaining pieces come into the game, and white builds this beautiful piece harmony and coordination. And now compare and contrast that with the black pieces that are sleeping on their barracks. Everything is tied down, and Steinitz says, only for a single pawn investment, this is great trade-off for white, right? White gains a positional winning advantage by simple positional pawn sacrifice that activates two pieces at the same time. That's exactly why c6 was wrong. Black should have played the move king f7, unpinning his knight and allow moves like this, right? This was the only way for black to fight from this position, but by going c6, he's allowing the positional pawn sacrifice. Let's continue because many people can see this and they say, but I don't trust my skills of converting this position, right? Who tells me that I can convert this and I lost the pawn? If my attack fails, then I'm busted in an endgame, right? That's also what is stopping you, folks, in engaging in such positional pawn sacrifices. That's why it's great to play such positions against your training partners. Take this position and try it against the engines, against the bots, against your friends. Do it repeatedly, analyze it carefully, right? Because this needs practical experience. It's an experiential knowledge we are talking about, right? That's a great way to build our sense of dynamics in chess. Some players are loving such attacking games. They have natural affinity to get these positions, but some players are very shy and they are very cautious players. I know it myself as a coach across the years. Some players are extremely cautious players, very positional, very endgame, very technical players, and they don't go for these pawn sacrifices. So my mission as a coach is also to force them to play similar positions against me in our group studies. In our group lessons, I play simultaneous games against my students given such positions, dynamical training game positions that I'm forcing them to experience what initiative looks like in chess. This way they are gaining confidence, folks. Let's continue. King f7, Steinitz played knight e6. Octopus knight is created on e6, highlighting such ideas. Also, such ideas that put pressure on the weakness on g7. Can you see how white initiative is growing and growing? Comes queen g4, of course. Steinitz creates this threat, but maybe also discover attack threats like knight g5, right? Initiative is growing on the king side, and g6 is the game continuation. Steinitz goes knight g5 check, also highlighting this problem that is faced by black. King e8 defends the queen, and now comes this beautiful calculation phase, folks. Please stop the video. Maybe that's a difficult exercise for some of you, but try to find that beautiful resource for white that is worth analyzing. And now comes Steinitz's next move. Rook takes e7, double exclam, bam. What a move this is. What a move this is. If you take on e7, that's understandable. This is hanging with check and white is winning. Thus, king e7 should be analyzed first, but here Steinitz prepared rook e1 check. Look at this. The king has to defend the queen, and now comes queen b4 check. Beautiful geometry. Beautiful geometry again. There are many moves for white, but this is the most convincing, folks. Rook e6 check, and everything is collapsing for black. Black is completely busted in his position. If you take my rook, my queen is stopping rook c1 mates, and white is completely winning in his position. But after rook takes e7, Bombardebelen comes up with a crazy amazing resource king f8, and suddenly it looks like tables are turning, because if you take the queen, then you get mated on c1. Well, if you take on c8, they will take back with the rook, and they reiterate the threat on c1. If you take the queen with your queen, you get mated again. Looks like we are in trouble. And here comes my question. Good calculation skills, folks. Please engage in this beautiful calculation and tell me the winning line for white in this position. You're a great player if you found Steinitz move rook f7. The windmill mechanism continues on the 7th rank. If you take my rook, then the problem is this is hanging with check and white is winning directly. Thus, the rook is immune, but von Pardebelen goes king g8. So what he says? If you take my queen, your problems remain. Otherwise, everything is hanging. Your queen is hanging. Your knight is hanging. What do you do, my friend? Steinitz plays the move rook g7 check. Folks, again, if you take with the queen, then you're losing because of rook takes c8 check. King takes doesn't work because of queen takes, comes with check, and white wins. Thus, von Pardebelen goes king h8. And comes my next question. How do you make progress as white from this position? And again, you're a great player. If you found the move rook takes h7 check, incredible, incredible. Windmill continues. Again, if you take my rook, then you lose because of rook c8 check followed by queen c8 check. Thus, von Pardebelen goes king g8. And he says, your problems remain. What do you get, my friend? Maybe you have perpetual, but nothing else, he thinks. But after king g8, Steinitz repeat first with rook g7 check. You cannot take both ways. And after king h8 comes queen h4 check. Now the queen is invading on the king side. Look at this, folks. Queen h7 check, king f8. Still, if you take my queen, then black mates you on c1. You have to be very careful. But we are finishing everything with a series of checks. Check, check, and now queen g8 check, king e7, queen f7 check. We are coming very close to the king. King d8, queen f8 check, queen e8. And now comes my question to you, folks. How do you finish off this game as quick as possible? White to play and mate in 2. You can do it, folks. You will finish everything with a series of checks. And yes, you're a great player if you found knight f7 check followed by queen d6. And this is such a beautiful mate, don't you think? So the story is this, folks. After rook h7 check, after rook h7 check in his position, von Pardebelen quietly left the tournament hall and he never came back. And Steinitz forfeited the win. And then later he showed the winning line to the audience that were just curious. They just came to the board and see what's going on there. Von Pardebelen, probably he thought he was smart enough to catch Steinitz off guard by this counter sacrifice involving the back rank trick. But after rook h7 check, he understood what was coming to him with this sacrifice of the rook and invasion of the 7th rank with the queen. Folks, to tackle this problem, I will also tell you a couple of good things, of course. We need to learn to trust our intuition to be able to engage in such positional sacrifice, right? You're doing a good work by watching my videos, by studying my Chessable course, The Art of Awakening Pieces and The Value of Pawns. These two courses will drill those relationships between material, quality, and time. So by doing the good work, you will gain confidence in your intuition, thus increasing your chances to seize the moment and sacrifice for long-term gains. Okay? Second of all, you need to accept imperfection, right? We are humans. No one is playing perfect chess because that's what also blocks many players, don't you think? They are perfectionists. They want to play a perfect game. In their mind, sacrifice involves chaos, uncertainty, correct? Because no one is perfect. No one can calculate everything to the end. To their mind, it breaks this perfection spirit. So they are shying away from sacrifices in those moments psychologically. So accept imperfection. And also very importantly, folks, you need to learn to love the challenge, right? Such sacrifices shows us the dimensions, 3 dimensions in chess: material, quality, and time. Our game is beyond the material aspect, don't you think? Coordination, quality, and time elements are also involved, and that's what chess is very beautiful. So to truly really grasp those dimensions, you need to love the challenge and love the sacrifice sometimes, and sometimes just go for it and experience those trade-offs in a very beautiful way. Okay, folks? That's also what my course drills, by the way. The value of pawns, evaluating material, quality, and time. please check that course to improve your skills on that domain and truly grasp the beauty of chess. And finally, use sacrifices as learning moments, right? Every single game involving a sacrifice will necessarily teach you some lessons about the value of time, initiative, coordination, and king safety, right? Because these elements are the most important in chess. The king safety and the piece activity, they are more important than material in chess. When you're evaluating a chess position, king safety and piece activity comes first. That's why we need also such training to be able to experience those dimensions contra the material dimension in chess. That's the final advice that I can give to you from this video, folks, to improve this skill. I've seen many times as a coach, despite our discussions, despite all the training that they get, they are still shying away from sacrifices. This is a big barrier also as humans, right? Especially for adults. We tend to be materialistic and cautious. As we age, I think we become more risk averse in life. When we are young, right, we take more risks. So that's another challenge for adult improvers to be able to accept a sacrifice. And I hope I'm changing some of your mental models to be able to open up a small gap in your mind to accept this beautiful dimension of chess. And obviously, as a homework, I will finish up with the Mikhail Tal example. In this game, Tal first takes the knight on d7. Now the king can no longer castle, right? We are breaking their castling rights. Take on d4. After king e8, Tal played bishop e3 with the idea of d5. The queen retreated to c7. And here comes my question to you. This is your homework. White to play. Can you guess Mikhail Tal's move in this position? Please write to me on YouTube your evaluations, why that move might be very strong. And I'm also curious about your approach. Do you need to calculate in depth or can you trust your intuition before making that move? Remember, the king can no longer castle. It's completely stuck in the center of the board. White to play. Which move do you think Mikhail Tal played here in this moment? I hope the lessons are very clear, folks. Please look at those 4 advices and 4 factors that is blocking you from engaging in positional pawn sacrifices. As I show in this video, those are game-winning sacrifices that you're missing in your games. So please open up your mind and also observe this creative dimension of chess. Accept the challenges, accept the imperfection. I will catch you on the next episode and I'm wishing you all the best. If you win such games involving sacrifices, please write to me on YouTube. Please leave a comment here on this video so I know my students are getting better in this beautiful part of chess. Bye-bye.